Welcome to the FC Edmonton pregame show on City. I'm Corey Chilliback. Well, even given the loss 2 weeks ago in Miami, the Eddies will finish up the season the best in club's history. And with a win today versus Fort Lauderdale, the Eddies are in a great spot to make a run at the NASL Championships.
We played Tuesday evening in Vienna and then flew in. I arrived in Edmonton 7 o'clock in the evening on Wednesday. And now training today and game on Sunday, so we're good. Yeah, I think if we just stay defensively good like we've been, our shape's good in the back, and we got to make a little bit more of our chances going forward, and I think we'll do well. Everybody wants to end the spring season on a high, so I think that's our main goal.
It'll be difficult to break them down, but we're just going to have a lot of energy and a lot of breaking the line and be patient and keep the ball. I think we've always been good defensively, but we went through a period last year at the start of the year we weren't good because we weren't all on the same page. You can't only have 3 or 4 people defending just because they're centre backs or right back. You just can't have them defending. People have to match the runners, and I think everybody's bought into that this year. Obviously, Colin likes his defensive side. It's exactly like myself, and we demand that level of making sure you follow your runner, making sure we're tight defensively, and then it gives us a foundation to build on. It was disappointing in Miami because they really only had one shot. Well, it wasn't even that, it was a half chance and he put it in the top corner. So we were disappointed at that because we didn't create many chances. And I think if we had created chances in that game, we would have won the game convincingly if we had scored early, and we didn't. So we get shot with a great strike from the left foot. So we can't fall into that trap again, and we need to build on the success we've had this spring season and carry it on to next season. And if we can do that, then we can be contenders for the top 4, and that needs to be our aim.
Yeah, they're going to be good. They've got a good squad, so they got to travel up here to good old Edmonton, so we're going to give them a Canadian welcome. We had a little mix-up down in Miami, so we need to get ourselves back on track, put ourselves nice and high in the standings, and give ourselves a little bit of momentum going into the fall season. Adam's playing really well in the back. Albert and Pop have done extremely well closing it down, and same with Eddie. And we've had some rotation with Johan coming in there. I think our depth overall has been quite helpful for us, making sure that we keep low goals against.
All right, please stay with us because when we come back, it's another session of Footy Fundamentals with FC Edmonton head coach Colin Miller, and we're going to take a look back at the NASL Plays of the Week.
Second half against Cincinnati as well. Onside, it's Georgie. Down to the ball for Joe Cole. Goal! Georgie wrist off from Joe Cole. And just like that, the Rowdies get the lead back 2-1.
Gibson scores! Great pass onto the foot of Gibson. Great skill to take that on the volley and slot it right past Sammy Injob.
Wow. Who else? Angulo at the far post.
His second of the year, this in the 35th minute. There's one in stoppage time. Juan Arango and New York wasting no time. They're back within a goal.
In today's practice, we're aiming this mainly at younger football players. So boys and girls, if you're watching this is a great technique exercises. For the young coaches out there that are watching the exercise, it's not a difficult one to set up. It's nice and simple. The players will get lots of touches on the ball using both feet, using their instep and outside of the foot to control the ball. And the quality that we're trying to see with our young academy players that are on view today should be able to demonstrate this exercise. That's it. If you need 3 touches, Oscar, take it. But move the ball away from the cone, cross your body to the side. As soon as you've passed it, make an angle. Don't stand still, Oscar. Make an angle. Good. Exaggerate it, getting away from the defender. Young players, as well as some senior professionals, tend to favour their stronger foot. This exercise will get your young players to work with both feet. The next part of the exercise is using a different part of the foot to control the ball. So we'll pass the ball down, the same movements, but this time we're using the outside of the foot to control the ball and the inside of the foot to pass the ball. If it's a one-touch exercise, we will try not to smash the ball at your teammate. Pass the ball so his and her first touch is easier to get used to, and if we get better quality touches, the exercise can then go faster. Quality, outside, inside, outside, inside. We're now going to try to move the ball in a figure of 8 so that we could use the outside of the foot control and pass the ball with the inside for sure. But now we're trying to move the ball behind the cone and then pass the ball diagonally. What's important for our coaches and for our young players, if you need to take 2 or 3 touches to complete the passing exercise to gain confidence with the soccer ball, then there is no problem with that at all. Be aware you will make mistakes. What's important is, from a coaching point of view, that there is lots of repetition in these exercises. So the players get so used to passing the ball and controlling the ball, it actually comes as second nature to them. But if you make a mistake with your first touch, it's not a crime to take another touch, possibly another touch, before you pass the ball.
Welcome back. It's that time in the show where we throw it down pitch side to Gareth Hampshire and Steve Sandor. Gentlemen.
Thanks, Corey. Great game in prospect today. FC Edmonton against the Fort Lauderdale Strikers, 2 of the teams that have been in the hunt for the spring season title. That's now out of reach for the Eddies, but this is still going to be the best spring season that they've ever had and can finish 3rd place today with a victory. Fort Lauderdale, it's still in with a chance for them to take the spoils, but probably against them now with the goal difference. Good afternoon. I'm Gareth Hampshire alongside Steve Sandor. Steve.
Yeah, going to be very interesting. I mean, Fort Lauderdale could theoretically take the league if they get 7 goals today. I don't know if that's going to be in the cards for against the best defensive team in the league, but it's there for them. And the Eddies, you have to look at the combined standings. I mean, still, this would be a point out of first if they win today.
Let's bring in the coach for FC Edmonton, Colin Miller, alongside us. Colin, thanks for your time. Just tell us what the game's all about today. Not quite in with a chance of the spring season title. What's the motivation today?
Is to finish 3rd, is to win as many games as we possibly can, Gareth. And it's, you know, as Steve said earlier on, it's been our best spring pre-season. And fingers crossed that Fort Lauderdale don't score 7 goals here today. And they're a dangerous team. They're a dangerous team. They've got quality, and as I said earlier in the week, anytime Santos is in the team, you know, he was a DP in the MLS at one point in his career, so he's got genuine quality. So we'll have to be on guard with that. But once again, it's about what we do here at home. We've worked on a number of different things. They've had a very consistent team over the last few games. They've got one change who probably come in at right back for them. And he hasn't played very much, so we have to try and expose that in the wide areas. You know, we've watched them enough, we've worked on things enough that I'm hoping that we can start to see some of these things that we've worked on in training come out here today. The defensive side of our teams are always, you know, it's always a critical part of it. You just have to look at the European Championships at the moment to see some of the focus and the work being done defensively. Teams being very hard to break down, but then being very entertaining, very attack-minded going forward. So that's our mindset at FC Edmonton, is to be very well organised and we never stop players from attacking. So it's about time we start to score a few goals. We're well organised, fit, and defensively sound, touch wood. But today is about winning and getting 3 points here against a good Fort Lauderdale side.
And looking back over the spring season, Colin, bearing in mind you've been in the hunt for the last couple of weeks, it's been a real different challenge. You've been so close to it. What's made the difference? What's impressed you about your team the past few weeks here?
Yeah, I think defensively we've been far better, Gareth. I mean, statistics, I'm not a huge fan of statistics, but, you know, at this point last season we'd given 22 goals away. This season we've given away 9, so that's a huge difference. And you look at Indy, they've been so hard to break down, so hard to beat, yet they've scored goals, they've been in very tight games and managed to pick up points here and there. And that's what's kept us in the hunt as well, being very well organised, as I said. But we didn't ever put all of our eggs in the spring season basket. So we knew there's 23 games to go still, including this one. So we know there's still a long, long way to go in the NASL Championship here, and it's about continually picking up points, continuing winning your home games, and being there at the end of the season. And well done to Indy. If results go our way today, then congratulations to Tim. He's done a fabulous job there.
What do you say to the players when they know it's the last game for a while, title still out of reach? What will be your words to the team today?
Well, it was a very positive team talk. We focused a little bit on Fort Lauderdale, as you would imagine, to know their strengths and their weaknesses. But today is about grasping an opportunity to finish the highest we've ever done. And that's what it's about. It's about being positive, set plays, things like that, being positive in possessing the ball, not forcing things that are not on. And I just want to see if the players have reacted to that. But this has been a very positive outing for us this spring season. And I'm not going to accept finishing where we are. We're not here to make up the numbers. I don't want that ever to be our mindset at FC Edmonton. I want us to be trying to be brave enough to win every single game that we play. And if we don't, I'll say bad words, I'm sure, at the end of the game.
All right, well, let's hope not. Good luck today.
Thank you, Gareth.
Thanks, Colin. Colin Miller, the FC Edmonton coach, talking about a positive team talk. There have been some good games over the years between FC Edmonton and the Fort Lauderdale Strikers, so another good one in prospect today at Clark Stadium. Let's take a look at where both teams stand in the North American Soccer League. And the Eddies have been making a good run of it. There they are, just off the pace, and the Strikers just above them, and with 3 points, they could go joint top.
Yeah, the Strikers could go joint top, and they need a lot of help in goal difference. You see that. They really need to pile the ball into the net to make up that goal difference. I don't know if that means they're going to come out attacking like we've never seen them before, but I would think they're going to play their normal game and just see how it comes.
FC Edmonton can go third with a win today, as coach Colin Miller talked about there. They would still have been in the hunt for the spring season title had it not been for that dropping of the points in Miami. And let's take a look back at that defeat for the Eddies.
Yes, this would be the most painful defeat of the season for the Eddies. You know, early chances that they didn't take, and then a wonder goal from Miami in the second half to give them the 1-0 win. But had the Eddies come up with those 3 points against the last place Miami team, the Eddies would be playing knowing if they won today, they win the spring season.
Still a strong performance on the road by the Eddies central defender, Pap Diakate. And here's our road warrior of today, brought to you by Jet Set Airport Parking.
Pap Diakate just won the NASL Player of the Month. He's been a real revelation for the Eddies since he signed. We're seeing a collage here of some of his best work. He scored a couple of goals this year, has been an absolute monster in the middle of defense for the Eddies, blocking shots. And as you see there, on set pieces, he's been huge as well. And, you know, he's almost a perennial player who's on the Player of the Week and Player of the Month this year. I mean, it's Player of the Month this month. So, you know, he's been everything that was promised when he was signed.
There he is, the road warrior, Pap Diakate. And the road warrior brought to you by Jet Set Airport Parking. Well, he's going to have to play well today. Fort Lauderdale, they're an exciting team, a lot of Brazilian flair about this team. So what do the Eddies have to do to go on and take those 3 points they're looking for? Let's take a look at the keys to the game.
And Colin Miller was just talking about the defensive resilience. And Fort Lauderdale is a team that likes to play 2 banks of 4. So the Eddies got to break them down. They've been working on their attack all week, the Eddies. But they know they're going to see a Fort Lauderdale team that likes to play 2 banks of 4, likes to keep it tight, and likes to hit you on the counter. So we'll see if that's exactly how that bears through with Fort Lauderdale needing those kind of goals. But I would think so. The next thing they got to do, the Eddies, is take their chances. They've only got a couple of goals this year for the Strikers. Jake Keegan's got a couple. Daryl Fordyce has got one on a penalty. They've got to get more production out of the frontline men. And we see here just Civil Route 1 football working for the Eddies earlier this year. And we see a nice finish there. And that's what the Eddies got to get back to. They got to be able to spring their forwards. And the forwards, when they do get a look at goal, they can't spurn those chances. You know, those ones come back to haunt you if you don't finish those chances when you're in one-on-one. And when the Eddies do that, their defense is good enough to make it stand up. They have the best defense in the league. They don't need to score a lot. They just need to score a little bit, and they're going to be fine. And this is what they need to do, is look at set pieces, balls into the area, and finish those chances. And the third thing really is discipline. The Eddies were talking about earlier this week. They've looked at the tape of Fort Lauderdale, and it's a team that likes to goad you a bit into retaliation, a team that likes to get you flustered and see if they can trick you into a few cards. So discipline is very, very important for the Eddies today. They're going to have to keep their wits about them.
Let's take a look at the FC Edmonton injury report now. Still a couple of players missing there today.
Yeah, Christian Raudalis, that injury he suffered a few weeks ago playing on that really awful Jacksonville turf, and then Pablo Cruz has been out with a calf strain.
Well, the sun coming out at Clark Stadium. Looks like hopefully the storms that have been threatening will be held off today as the Eddies can take on Fort Lauderdale. Great game in prospect between two of the teams who are at the upper end of the table, clashing today in the North American Soccer League. Eddies versus the Strikers, and the kickoff is coming up next. It's 5th versus 6th place in the North American Soccer League. FC Edmonton hosting the Fort Lauderdale Strikers, the very last game of the spring season in the league today, happening here in Edmonton. Let's take a look at the starting lineups, beginning with FC Edmonton. What's looking like a pretty settled team now for coach Colin Miller, who will start with Van Oekel in goal, Eddie Edward at right back, Eckersley at left back, Diakite and Watson in the middle of defense, Ledgerwood the holding midfield role, and then on the right Nyasi, on the left Keegan, Fordyce and Correa pushing forward to support Tomi Amiobi, the lone striker for the Eddies today. And for the Strikers, Diego Restrepo starts in goal. A back four of Gabriel on the right. PC, the captain, at left back these days. Julius James and Gail Agbusamonde in the center of defense for Fort Lauderdale. Two holding midfield players, Manny Gonzalez, Luis Felipe. On the right, Jason Mora. On the left, Jose Angulo. Ramon Nunez plays just behind Maicon Santos, who is center forward for the Strikers today. Unbeaten in 6, Fort Lauderdale, as they travel here to FC Edmonton, who've been on a pretty good run themselves, apart from that banana skin loss to Miami, which put them out of the race for the spring title. Weather conditions looking pretty nice now. The sun's coming out in Edmonton. Some rain and overcast conditions earlier today, but pretty good at the moment. 15 degrees, feels quite a bit warmer than that in the sun as well, where the players are on the pitch this afternoon. A little bit of a breeze, nothing too dramatic to interfere with the game, and we are just about to kick off here in Edmonton.
Be interesting to see. We see Gabrielle in for Fort Lauderdale at right back, and it could be an area that Edmonton tries to exploit. It was mentioned before the game that that's an area that player that they feel they can take advantage of, in the sense that a guy's not played a lot of minutes so far this season. And that could be the real sort of interesting matchup to watch as this game develops, is how Gabrielle fares down Edmonton's left side of attack. So we'll be looking at maybe Dustin Correa and Jake Keegan on that side, and how they'll deal with Gabrielle.
Keegan been playing wide more recently. He was through the heart of the attack earlier in the season, but since Amiobi's return, been moved out to the wing, where he's still pretty dangerous and has still been in amongst the goals, Jake Keegan, and that seems to be the role that he's finding a place in this starting 11 for. Goalkeeping matchups. There we go. Matt Van Oekel been playing well for FC Edmonton, and you can see played quite a few more minutes than Diego Restrepo in goal for Fort Lauderdale today.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting test, and we'll see how Fort Lauderdale comes out. I mean, obviously, mathematically, they're still alive for the spring season title, and we'll see if they decide to go for it and chase it. I would think that they would play their normal setup and then see if they get a goal early and see maybe if that opens up something. But I think against the best defensive team in the league, you know, asking to win by 6 is a fairly tall order.
We're underway. Fort Lauderdale attacking the goal to our left and immediately playing it forward, looking for PC, who's made a very quick break into attack, but it's brought clear by Watson. Support from Ledgerwood, just a little pushed pass alongside him to Edward. Edward finding Dustin Correa, who plays that back into the defense, and there's Diakite with some strapping around his right wrist, and not his best pass out of defense. That ball going straight into touch. Throw in for the Strikers.
You saw as soon as the Eddies got control of the ball, Fort Lauderdale dropped off into 2 banks of 4. This is what Edmonton's been looking at. This is what they've seen the last month that Fort Lauderdale will do it very effectively to make it very, very hard to break down.
Julius James bringing that one out to about halfway, but his pass going astray, and the ball with Van Okel, who will play this one to Eckersley. Playing left back again for the Eddies today. Now Diakite just playing that one forward to Correa. First touch lets him down, but he's battled well to win the ball, and he's trying to release Nayasi there. Just a bit too far for him. It's into touch. It's a throw in for the Strikers. PC, the Strikers captain. It's a good little flick on there into the path of Nunez. He's tackled well by Watson, and Diakite tries to drive that one down the line. It's deflected into touch for a throw into the Eddies.
Yeah, it looks very much, at least overhead here, right now in the first couple minutes of the game, that this is about as basic a 4-4-2 as you're ever going to see that Fort Lauderdale is throwing out at the Eddies.
Correa tackled as he tried to break through. It was a good challenge there by Manny Gonzalez. The ball back with Watson, though, and Amiobi. Eddie's trying to press early on here. First 2 minutes, a chance for Nayasi to run at the defense. Goes to the byline, and he's watched very closely by Julius James, who makes a good tackle to concede the corner, the first of the match for Edmonton.
Julius James, Galeb Busamonde, Maicon Santos. It's a Toronto FC reunion here in Fort Lauderdale. It's true that Canadians do go to Florida later in their careers because a lot of ex-Toronto FC players, and obviously Nana Adekora, who didn't make the trip, Canadian player for Fort Lauderdale, another former Toronto FC player.
Eckersley looks to the near post with that left boot, but it's headed away well. There'll be another chance for Ledgerwood here. He tried to slip it through for Eckersley, but instead it's deflected out for a throw-in to Edmonton. He's gone safety first, back to Edward here. Edward pumping a long one into the box. That's easy for Diego Restrepo, who makes an easy catch and just rolls it out to the fullback here. Gabriel up the line. That's controlled nicely by Gonzalez. Scramble for the ball in the middle of the field, and Correa's going to come away with it. Nayasi's made a run through the middle, and the goalkeeper, sensing that there was some danger there, and raced out very quickly and made the clearance.
Just got there in time, a step ahead of St. Ignacy.
Correa making a good start to the match here, onto the edge of the box. Nayasi, nice little over, a good dummy, and Fordyce stepped into it, just couldn't get the shot away. And the whistle going for a free kick to the Strikers there. Not a bad start by FC Edmonton.
No, they're definitely trying to stretch Fort Lauderdale, and I think they're feeling that through that the tight 2 banks of 4, there are some balls that can be threaded through. And the Eddies have tried to run at the Strikers, and said Niasi in that very interesting foot race with Restrepo, who was going to get to that ball first. And Restrepo got there a step ahead, but very lively start to the game.
Four minutes gone, 0-0. As Watson gets another touch for Edmonton. He's being patient with the ball in possession here, playing out from the back. Nyasi makes a turn. Found Fordyce inside, and then Fordyce clipping a beautiful pass around the corner there. Amiobi almost stepping in behind the fullback. Keegan has it back. Nyasi trying to return the pass to him. Keegan still battling for possession, edge of the area. Ledgerwood has it back. The Eddies just a little bit quicker to the ball at the moment, winning those 50-50 challenges. It's with Ledgerwood once more, the Eddies number 6. Nyasi tangling with PC there, who does a good job against him defensively and has the throw in. Ledgerwood making a good tackle, and Korea spinning well and doing well to get the free kick. He's taking it quickly to release Nyasi here down the right-hand side. Sini Nyasi tries to cut infield. He's looking for the free kick. Referee didn't see anything wrong with that, and PC scampers away with possession for the Strikers. Nunez going straight through the heart of the field here and has support on the right-hand side. This is a dangerous attack. The cutback coming in there towards Maicon. Now the strike, and Diakite getting down to make a clearance. Danger not gone here. Gabriel to the edge of the box. PC chipping one over the top. And that one kept away from Jason Mora. It will be a throw-in for the Strikers.
Fort Lauderdale that time brought some numbers forward. Off the counter-attack and decided to try to sustain the pressure.
Gabriel's ball in there, headed away by Diakite, and it's Nyasi in all kinds of space on the right wing. Just stops and sends the ball back to Edward, though, and the Eddies just taking a bit of a breather and being patient in possession. Fordyce chipping one over the top. Korea's the target with Strepo again. Very quick off his line. Good anticipation by him, and an overarm throw to Luis Felipe. Nunez in position here. Busononde bringing the ball forward there. Here's Felipe again. He's crossing the halfway marker. Pass to the left wing. He's got the ball back. He's trying to curl it to the far post. Eckersley in the way. A good defensive header, but it drops straight back to Nunez. Good work by Ledgerwood there in defense. Nyasi on the edge of his own penalty area, but supported by Korea, and now Watson finding Eckersley. Edward here, charging in field. Looks like it's going to be a free kick. Edward taken down after he went past his man. Referee just trying to calm things down a little bit out there. PC arguing the case of the Strikers, but the referee not having anything. And there it is. Just a little clip from behind, a trip, and it's a free kick.
Seems to be Nyasi, I think, coming in. Well, it's going to be Eckersley. We've seen Eckersley. He's been really, really dangerous with his left foot since he's been able to get past some of his health issues and been a regular starter for this team. Scored in the Canadian Championship off of a very similar set piece like this. Adam Eckersley. You know he's going to take it. No trickery here.
Jostling for position inside the penalty area. It's pretty crowded in there. Eckersley whips it in. It's not his best. Defended well by the Strikers. It'll be a throw in for the Eddies.
surrendering the throw. I mean, you want one of your big men in the box on a throw-in situation like this.
As for Keegan to deliver the cross, it's taken a deflection. Doesn't go out of play. Now it does for a goal kick. Still 0-0.
Talked about Gabriel going to be tested in the first couple tests. He wins there. He banged that ball off of Daryl Fordyce to win the goal kick. A little bit earlier, he cut off a pass for Tomi Amiobi. So the couple times they've tested him, he's been up to the task so far.
Eckersley cushioning a header forward. It'll drop for Ledgerwood. Juggles it for a moment, then finds Fordyce, who loses his footing and loses the ball. It's a throw in for the Strikers.
And it says here victory can move these teams in the second place in the standings. I think it would be third for Edmonton. Don't the Cosmos have 18 and Indy has 18? So I think Edmonton will get to 17 points. But the Strikers still in the lead too.
Massey on the right-hand side, released well by Fordyce there, but has a corner kick, didn't quite make the most of it there. Eckersley coming over to take this dead ball kick. Straight to the goalkeeper in the end. Restrepo in perfect position, and it's a good kick out to try and turn this into an attack. That's good play by Maicon, and a chip ball over the top that could be really dangerous there. Turned back to the goalkeeper by Ledgerwood in the end, and Van Oekel plays it out to the right-hand side. Korea's done well to keep that header in and cushions it down for Edward. Edward rides the challenge, but his pass is going to be picked up by Manny Gonzalez for the Strikers.
It's a massive touch there by Nick Ledgerwood. Also, Gabriel would have been gone and in alone on goal. Maicon Santos would send him through. It just grazed off Nick Ledgerwood's head to slow it up and allowed the Eddies to recover. Gabriel made a run up all the way up the middle of the field from the fullback position. And I think that caught the Eddies by surprise.
Good little foot in of a tackle there by Luis Felipe, and Korea then conceding the free kick against Ramon Nunez. Home fans trying to get behind the Eddies. There they are behind the goal. Matt Van Oekel with some orders to his defense. The Strikers' free kick coming up here. Nunez to Luis Felipe. PC. The left wing, it's an early cross. It's charged down by the Eddies, and this looks pretty good for them here if they can take advantage of the players forward. Eckersley putting a long ball forward there, and in the end, a little bit too long for Amiobi, and another routine catch for Restrepo. Watson appealing for that to be an Edmonton throw-in, but the linesman there deciding that it did touch Watson last, and it's a throw-in for the Strikers here.
14 minutes in, anyone watching in Indianapolis, the state of Indiana, is probably pretty happy to see the scoreline.
Bad turn on the edge of the area there, and strike towards goal, charged down by Watson, and a free kick given in the end against Jason Mora. Drilling a long ball forward there. Wasn't too far away from being an excellent pass to Amiobi. He was just a little off kilter and couldn't adjust.
Hey, Amiobi looked over the wrong shoulder like a wide receiver in football. He looked over his right shoulder and the ball dropped in over his left shoulder. I think if he would have looked over the other shoulder, he would have been on that ball.
Pretty good matchup so far. Both teams finding a rhythm. It's got a good ebb and flow to it, this match. It's nearly 16 minutes gone, remains goalless so far, but plenty of enterprise from both teams as PC again pops up in possession. Chasing through the middle of the field here and trying to thread one through, and intercepted by the Eddies. Tackle by Diakite, who carries this one forward. He's got support from Correa. Correa just loses his footing and then tries to turn it through for Keegan. He's going to get another chance. Here he is, Dustin Correa. An overlapping run by Eckersley. Eckersley's cut back cross was aimed at Keegan, headed away well by Gusamonde. Throw in for Edmonton.
Great. Again, another example of why Diakite is player of the month in this league, and why so many people around the league are talking about this signing. He wins the ball, creates a chance.
Lovely little 1-2, great through ball. There's no flag up. Here's Keegan. Restrepo's come a long way, and Keegan slips it underneath him to give Edmonton the lead. It's 1-0.
Oh, I thought Keegan may have let that chance go away by waiting so long. Keeper came out, and Keegan nutmegged him. Goes in, gives the Eddies a big 1-0 lead. But a good finish. I talked at the start of the game about how the Strikers had to score. And here we see him. He waits the keeper out. And then, okay, you bit. First move. Let Restrepo make the first move, and then I'm going to slip it through.
Edmonton carving open the Fort Lauderdale defense. No offside flag. Keegan timed his run to perfection. Started off with a nice little 1-2 that Fordyce played, and then his through ball perfectly timed.
And 2 cheers for that goal. 1 for the fans here in Edmonton and FC Edmonton fans, and probably another cheer in Indiana, because that just made Fort Lauderdale's already massive hill to climb just a little bit higher.
That's very nicely taken down on the chest by Angulo. In the end, nothing will come of it, but some expert control from a very high ball out of the sky. Van Oekel gets Edmonton going again. 1-0 lead. 17th minute. Keegan on the score sheet again. And a very nice finish under pressure from Restrepo, who come a long way out of his goal, but was very committed there. And Keegan just slipped it underneath him.
Restrepo does the right thing. Keegan's coming in at an angle. You come out and you take away that angle. The only flaw that Restrepo had is he made the first move. You got to wait now for the striker to make the first move and then react to it. Restrepo, I thought Keegan had waited too long, and it basically allowed Restrepo to get right on top of him. But then Restrepo started to slide and bit on that and bit. If he would have, I think, stayed on his feet, he would have given Keegan a little more trouble, but it opened up the wickets and allowed Keegan a spot to slide that ball through. So an A for Restrepo for the original effort, and then unfortunately a failing grade on biting.
Good tackle there by Correa. Takes it past 2 players. It just ricocheted off him to go out for a throw into the Strikers. Pressing again by the Eddies, are forced to throw in. Scorer Keegan in possession again. Roger Wood with a nice crossfield ball to the right wing, and it's perfect for Edward to run onto. Edward trying to go around the outside, PC following him very closely and concedes another corner. It's a dangerous one, and headed just flashed over the top. And it was Keegan again, looking for his second of the match.
Another great opportunity for the Eddies to double their lead. That's what I'm sure he'll want back and say, I'd love to get that on target. Take a look again. Eckersley, the dangerous delivery. And yeah, Keegan's had to duck down a little bit. Had a defender on his back, so hard to keep that down.
Great delivery though from Eckersley, and that's the danger he brings from these set-piece situations, and could very easily have been 2-0 there. And again, Keegan, the danger man.
Yeah, since Eckersley's been able to start on a regular basis for this team, it's been a big change for those set pieces. That left foot of his was so dangerous.
Edward brought down there by Angulo, and a little bit of discomfort on the touchline. Ledger Wood. He's got a run forward by Edward. Good pressing run, supported by Nyasi, wide on the right, overlapping. When it comes to the cross, Keegan battling for it again. It might drop before dice. He's got Eckersley behind him. Eckersley with the left-footed ball to the far post, maybe just caught in two minds there. It didn't quite come off. Goal kick.
Yeah, another look here at the goal that opened the scoring. You'll see here where Keegan starts that run. And there's the ball being delivered, and he is on. Really well timed. You said there, just goalie bites, gets it through the wickets. I think if Restrepo would have been able to hold him off on Keegan another second or two, at least his defenders would have got back to the goal line, maybe tried for a goal line clearance.
That was a great view of the offside situation there, very clearly on, timing his run to perfection. And you could see the appeals going up from the Fort Lauderdale defenders, but they must have known that he was going to be okay.
I think the fact that Fort Lauderdale put up no argument after the goal, I mean, you defenders will always put up their hands. I mean, not to bring up pain, Gareth, but I think there was about 4 England defenders who had their hands up on the Russian goal.
Was there?
Yeah.
I wasn't watching by that point. My head was in my hands.
But defenders will always do that. I mean, we're taught to do that, right? I mean, you try to convince the referee if you're not sure, doesn't matter. But once the goal went in, there was no complaint from the Fort Lauderdale bench nor from the players.
Really nice passing move as well from Edmonton to carve out that chance for Keegan, and a great patient finish. And That's the way we stand at the moment. 1-0 with 25 minutes gone at Clark Stadium.
They've worked on their attacking for the last 2 weeks. So that bye week, they've just worked on improving their attack. Pays off with a very well-timed run.
He's going to drop for Edward. He's driven it over the top. James handled it easily, but there was an offside against Saini Nyasi in any event. Free kick for the Strikers. Not taken from the correct position. The ball will have to be returned there to Julius James. We're trying to watch the run there of Jason Mora, causing some problems down the right-hand side and getting a throw in for the Strikers.
You know, Garrett, that's a danger. The one danger when you play as flat a 4-4-2 as Fort Lauderdale's been playing today, you have those two flat banks of four, is you can get cut open by those runs because you're not staggering any players. You're playing with two flat lines and you can get caught with a good run. That's what you always got to be vigilant of. The center backs have always got to be aware where their line's going to be.
Right here, it's going to be a stoppage.
And a nice pass to the right-hand side. Cross coming into the area, and Watson, safety first from the Eddie skipper, deciding just to side foot that one into touch. Not very many other options for him there. He's conceded a corner kick. Taking the corner. It's not a bad-looking corner, and there's the header towards goal, and Van Oekel scrambles to his low right side and gets a touch on that one from the Luis Felipe header.
Yeah, that placing almost happened in slow motion. Climbed up really well to get his head on the ball. I don't know if that hits Keegan on the way through, but then just rolls, and Matt Van Oekel's been able to deal with it. Certainly, if it would have went across the line, I don't think it would have had enough power to actually hit the net. It would have just crawled across the line. Not that that really would have mattered. Goal's a goal.
Another corner from the left side. Nunez in towards the near post, and that one will be a goal kick for Edmonton. Well, Colin Miller making the point about his defense as well, that at this time last season had conceded 22 goals, and again, Diakite's been a big part of the strength and depth in the back four for FC.
I also think a big part of that's Nick Ledgerwood. I mean, when you're the holding midfielder, it's an unsung hero kind of position. It's probably the most, I think, taken for granted position in the sport. People kind of look at the midfielder and go, okay, he's not scoring a lot of goals, he's not doing this, or what's he doing? The holding midfielder is such a crucial role. And I think you take a look at any championship team, you look at that player, there's someone elite playing in that position. And Nick Ledgerwood and Pop Diakite, I think, have really changed this team down the spine.
Gulo on the left-hand side, Nunez, PC outside him. Steps in field, but he's given it away to Korea there. Edward chipping on forward, looking for Amiobi to chase. James getting his head on it, but it's going to fall to an Eddie's player. And Nyasi was a bit afraid of running into an offside position there, I think. The timing didn't quite work from Korea's pass.
That's where I think you finish the run anyways. You just go and have the ref's flag comes up, it comes up. You're either going to lose the ball or be offside. You're going to lose the ball either way, so you may as well have the run.
Good pressing there again, though, from Edmonton, picking up the loose balls and being very direct in their attacking play today. 1-0 lead approaching the half-hour mark as the Strikers try and carve out something. That's going to be easy for Van Oekel. Plucks that one out of the air, no problem.
The Eddies have done a good job today varying their attacks, too. There's been a couple of direct attacks. There's been a few where they've worked the ball through the middle of the field. They haven't been predictable. I think that's helped pay off in the goal they've scored.
Eckersley picks up a loose ball here. Decides to keep it in the back four for a moment here. It's a good direct pass, and Niasi's kept it in play and has support from Edward. Edward's crossed to the far post, up towards Keegan. He gets up there, and Keegan has made it 2-0 for FC Edmonton. Beats the goalkeeper to the ball. He was never the favourite to get that, but he somehow managed to direct his header towards and into the goal, and Keegan's got a brace, and the Eddies are 2-0 up.
Yeah, and Keegan with a great effort gets up. It's a 50-50 ball. That's not the keeper's right to get that ball. You can go up for it. And we see here, Nias is going to turn this around. Eddie Edward with the ball in. For sure. I mean, keeper's got to get that ball. That's, you know, that's I have to say, very, very poor goalkeeping. Keepers, if you're going to be up for this ball, you can use your hands. You got to win this. And he flaps at it. He flaps at it and actually goes underneath his arm and goes off Keegan and in the goal.
And in fact, Keegan challenged also by Busamonde at the same time, somehow getting in between the two of them, and that's a brave bit of finishing to get that goal.
Very brave, and I'm sure anyone in Fort Lauderdale is going to look at that and say there's no way that player can score a goal. Great work by Jake Keegan, not giving up, but very, very poor marking, allowing for Busamonde, allowing Keegan to get ball side and goal side of him, and then the keeper for not winning that cross.
Restrepo had gone down and was getting some treatment. He still wants to talk to the referee here about that, but no other appeals really from the Strikers team. There was nothing wrong with that. A good header by Jake Keegan, his second of the match, and it is 2-0 to the Eddies. This one, the last game of the spring season, but back in action here July 10th. And who is it against? Fort Lauderdale again. They'll be back for the beginning of the fall season. July 10th, 2 p.m. Tickets at fcedmonton.com. There he is again, that man Keegan. Forward pass to Amiobi. Korea making a fancy turn and getting a free kick, and that's the first card of the match being shown to Agbusamonde. All of a sudden, the Strikers in a little bit of a struggle here, and Edmonton piling it on.
Agbusamonde late, very late. Knows what he's doing. I think that's part of frustration too. You know, he was just victimized on that goal.
Korea's just beaten him with a good bit of skill there, a little bit late trip, and he's into the book. Free kick here from Fordyce into the area. Watson flicking on the header, and he'd like that back. There was no one around him, and just couldn't direct it towards goal. But another chance for the Eddies.
Fort Lauderdale's marking here is just atrocious, I have to say. They've left Albert Watson wide open, and he tries to flick that ball into the corner. He misses, but again, where are the defenders here for Fort Lauderdale?
Watson couldn't quite believe the space he was in, I don't think, there with that header. But the chance has gone begging. It remains 2-0 to the Eddies, and the Strikers here at the other end, all of a sudden in a decent position. Angulo taking his time there, but has found a pass to Luis Felipe. Now Nunez.
While it was an awfully long shot for Fort Lauderdale to win the league, get the 6-goal margin. I'm sure Indy fans are ecstatic about the scoreline.
And Niobe being a bit of a handful there for Julius James. Referee doesn't see a free kick in that one, though, as Niobe goes down to the turf, and the Strikers come away with the ball. Bruno again here. Luis Felipe. Nunez. He's tackled well by Nick Ledgerwood. The ball will drop to PC. Clipped out from behind by Edward and then fouled by Sani Nyasi. Free kick here for the Strikers. About 10 minutes to half time.
Ref just threw away his can of magic spray. Tossed it aside.
Maybe it's not working.
Magic spray is not so magic today.
Nunez's free kick from the left. They've thrown the big lads forward for this one. It's headed away well by Fordyce. Good defending from Edmonton, and Keegan chasing it out, but it'll go for a throw-in. Well, that left wing position not working out too badly for Jake Keegan on a hat-trick. That's an acrobatic clearance away there by Diakite, but it's picked up by Nunez. Angulo on the edge of the area. He's tackled by Pat Diakite as well. Nyasi pushing it down the line for Correa. Correa dispossessed by PC. Now Gabriel. And Luis Felipe again. Closest to a goal for the Strikers with that header from a corner. There's a swerving cross into the box. It'll be easy for Van Oekel, who sends away Keegan with a long throw to halfway. And here's Keegan again in those fluorescent boots. You can't miss him. Moving in from the left. He's got support from Correa. Correa tries to drill it into the path of Nyasi. It's picked up by PC for the Strikers. Watson getting something of an interception, but it spins off him, and Maicon has the ball. PC's made a break towards the edge of the penalty area. Diakite read that one beautifully, and he's going to concede the throw-in. Referee wants a word with Maicon here. Has delayed the throw-in. He's explaining something in there.
Something that happened a little while ago. He's pointing back to the other side of the field. No discipline. I think it's just a warning of some kind that's been issued to Maicon. Maybe a foul, he said, that happened earlier. Didn't like it. They'll do it again.
Here comes the cross, and Maicon on the end of it. But, couldn't get that anywhere near towards the goal. It's gone out for actually for a throw-in. Edmonton leading 2-0, 7 minutes to half-time. Edwards' throw down the right-hand side. There's a push there on PC. And a free kick again to the Strikers.
Fort Lauderdale coaching staff smacking the ball out of the referee's hand. I think that was the coach, Kyle Zanardi, that did that.
PC is going to take this free kick from the left. He's curled this beautifully into the path there. Angulo, who really ruled that opportunity, didn't quite time that header and has gone out for a goal kick.
That's the difference, though. Angulo's making a good run into the box, and it's a very, very good cross. But Angulo's marked. He's got still a wall of blue defenders to get through to get some purchase on that header. He can't get anything on it because he's got people on him, and that's just the difference. You're going to get good crosses that come in. You mark up, you minimize the damage that can happen against you.
Edmonton. And in favour of Agbusimonde. Tomi Amiobi doesn't like it, but the play back underway here. Referee wants the free kick retaken here from a different spot.
Just moving Adam Eckerson back a few yards. The Yetis want to take this fast now. They'll just set up.
Just a couple of minutes to half-time here. Edmonton with a pretty strong position at the moment. 2-0 up thanks to 2 from Jake Keegan. One with the head, one with the boot. Needs one with his left foot to complete the action. Tackle there by Diakite, breaking up a good move, a promising build-up by the Strikers that is still in progress here, though, and Maikon held up by a bit of a trip. Free kick given, and again, the referee today hasn't been impressed with any quick free kicks. He's been very particular about the position of the ball, and that's going to give Edmonton a bit of a breather, too. Fort Lauderdale will regroup. PC will be in charge of this one. Chipped it towards the penalty spot, headed away by Fordyce. Nunez might try his luck. It's a good effort. And Van Oekel makes a routine catch. Hasn't been tested too often today, Matt Van Oekel.
And any shots that have come on him, he's been able to deal with comfortably. I think maybe the one header off the corner, that was a little bit awkward. Came off Felipe Luis's head. Other than that, he's been solid.
Agbusimonde being watched by Keegan, turns nicely though, keeps his composure well under pressure. Fort Lauderdale passing the ball around the back four until PC springs them loose, and Nunez links up with Angulo. Angulo's run that ball into touch. Throw in for Edmonton. Edgewood in space there, can receive the throw-in, but tackled by Luis Felipe, and here's Maikon. An overlapping run on the right here by Mura. Just clips it up and tries the strike. He's hit the side netting. Looked from an angle up here as though that might have gone in, but it was an acute angle, and he hits the side of the net.
Yeah, and he has a couple of very angry Strikers teammates who are wondering why didn't he turn this ball across the middle of goal. As you can see, the two players running in, Maikon Santos and Jose Angulo, are both wide open across the top. Very, very selfish play by the ball carrier. He had two wide open players. He puts that ball across goal, and they've got a goal, or at least a very, very good chance. He's got to be aware and see where those runners are going.
Probably the best chance the Strikers have had. The other end, though, it's Edmonton again. Nyasi's got all kinds of space to break into. In comes the cross. It's harried by Restrepo, but he just does enough to keep that ball away from the Edmonton forwards. Break by Nunez over the top here. He's got Maikon in the center. Steps inside Diakite. He's tackled, though, by Albert Watson. It'll drop for Luis Felipe. Defensive play by Albert Watson, that one. Strikers having a good spell here, though, just before half-time. PC's ball into the box, controlled well by Maikon, taken away from him by Watson. A good pass back to Van Oekel, who's in a long ball over the top. Agbusimonde will head that one back to Restrepo. Did very well there. Played the first 45 minutes. We've got 1 minute added time here in this first half. 2-0 for Edmonton. Fordyce making an interception there. He's just playing keep ball here with the break seconds away now. Nice 1-2 there to finish the half between Eddie Edward and Saini Nyasi, and a good half too for the Eddies. A 2-0 lead, 2 goals from Keegan. Had a very strong first half, and Edmonton are in the lead, and the home fans really enjoying it.
A great half for the Eddies and a not so great half for the Fort Lauderdale Strikers. It's a combination of both. Jake Keegan, 2 great goals, one where he beats the keeper through the legs, and another one with his head beating both the central defender and the keeper for a ball in the air. And Fort Lauderdale on their side will look at a couple of goals that you really don't want to give up at all.
Let's talk to the Fort Lauderdale coach, Kai Ozuna.
Hi, Coach. Just maybe give us your thoughts there on the first half.
Yeah, the first half we didn't play well. We try to play inside, but they block all the situations, and they found 2 goals. Now we need to improve it to try to switch second half.
Are you gonna? What are some of the changes you might be looking at making in the second half?
Yeah, I'm gonna talk with the players. We need to be more aggressive. We need to adjust our defense. They have so many space the first half. We need to change something for second half.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Kai Ozunadi admitting his team did not play well in that first half, but giving credit as well, the Strikers coach to FC Edmonton, admitting that the Eddies had just taken away all the space from the Strikers, and he's got to have a word with his players at half-time, is what Zanardi told us just there. Let's hear from the Eddies coach, Colin Miller. 2-0 up, Colin. 2 from Keegan. What impressed you most about the way your team played?
The shape of the team was good, Gareth, for the most part. I'm still a bit wary. This is a dangerous Fort Lauderdale team. I've said that. They're above us in the league for a reason, because they are dangerous. But I think if we just keep the back door shut in terms of when we're in possession of the ball, being tighter, so that whenever everything breaks down, that we're already well organised. If we do that, we'll be fine. I just think we look hungry. We look full of running, which is excellent. And I just think if the final ball had been that little bit better, that maybe the game could have been put to bed by now. But 2-0's always a dangerous scoreline. We'll go in we'll come back out at nothing each here in half-time. But very positive. There was some positive. There was some great sequences of passes and some terrific movement ahead of the ball here, and we looked dangerous. As I said earlier, for that, apart from that final ball, just having that little bit more quality in it, we could have been a wee bit further ahead here. But still a job of work to be done.
Good. Thank you, Colin.
Thank you.
The coach pretty happy, I would say, with that, but also making the point 2-0 can be a dangerous lead, but looking good so far for FC Edmonton. 2 up on the Strikers at halftime. FC Edmonton's fans enjoying this one. 2-0 up at halftime against the Fort Lauderdale Strikers. Jake Keegan on target today. Last game of the spring season, and let's take a look back at the first half highlights. Brought to you by Medical Imaging Consultants. And the Eddies pressing right from the off today. Lovely passing move, and then Keegan does the rest.
As we talked about, getting the balls up forward, get to the balls to the forwards, and have the forwards finish those chances. And Keegan not making the goalkeeper there for Strepo. See another example, ball getting up front. Nyasi not able quite to control it there, but he gets the ball back. And here is to Edward. And the ball goes up. There's a question there. Like, it is Keegan to make some contact, but take a look closely again. Did this go off a Fort Lauderdale player as well? It does look like it goes off the small of Keegan's maybe back, not necessarily his head. But did that also go off a strike of Fort Lauderdale players that went in? It's a good question. I don't think the league would change the scoring on that. I think that would stay Keegan's goal. And this league is the past has been not keen to give own goals anyways.
Jake Keegan on a hat trick, and the second half is coming up next. The Eddies 2-0 ahead against the Fort Lauderdale Strikers. Welcome back to Clark Stadium. FC Edmonton about to kick off the second half, holding a 2-0 lead with 2 goals from Jake Keegan in that first half against the Strikers. No changes from either of the coaches at halftime. The same lineups will begin the second half, and the Eddies attacking the goal to our left in this second half, and immediately Korea going down under a couple of challenges, getting a quick free kick for the Eddies. In Edmonton, pretty good. Damp because there has been rain in Alberta's capital this morning and the last couple of days, but 17 degrees and a slight breeze coming from the west. So perfect conditions really for the players out there today, and that dampness on the pitch always gives you an extra little bit of zip, aids with the passing, and it's certainly done Edmonton no harm. The first half of this match as Van Oekel scrambles to get the ball clear, and it'll fall to Agbusamonde. Fordyce winning it back there, and just poking out a pass towards Keegan. Keegan goes down under the challenge. Referee waves play on, and it'll be Eckersley who comes back to the aid of Van Oekel. And Van Oekel, right-footed, just clips that one up in the sky, and Agbusamonde heading it forward. And that will reach its target. Eddie Edward misjudging the bounce, and Angulo bringing the ball into the penalty area for the Strikers. And the Eddies just a little bit asleep at the beginning of this second half. Just a touch sloppy there. And Fordyce here has some defending to do in his own penalty box, and he has forced Mora out wide, but still getting the ball back into the box. No penalty there, not even an appeal for it, as Eckersley takes the ball cleanly, and it's with Keegan. Keegan toe poking the pass forward to Amiobi. But the Strikers beginning with some intent here in the second half.
Albert Watts with a very big block there on the shot. Not letting that ball get through. He got tight to the man, which unfortunately wasn't the truth for a lot of the other Eddies on that play. And as you mentioned, Eddie Edward misjudged that bounce off the turf. The ball really took off on him, and it allowed Fort Lauderdale to get a ball to the top of the box and have a shot on goal.
Manny Gonzalez trying to switch play out to the left-hand side, but that's a poor pass, and it's taken back by Korea. Korea turning into trouble. Touch fortunate there maybe to get a free kick, possibly looking for it a little. And it's with the Eddies again here. Colin Miller talked about it, a 2-0 lead, always a one that can be on a knife edge, especially if the opposition gets a quick goal back, then it's always a very uncertain lead. But at the moment, the Eddies unscathed at the beginning of this second half. It's with Keegan. Keegan is challenged by 2 red and yellow hoop shirts and loses out in that battle. Luis Felipe linking up with Nunez. His forward pass to Gabriel not working out. Gabriel playing in a more advanced position. Looks like he might have switched with Jason Mora, who's dropped into fullback. It's with Fordyce wide on the right here. If he can just keep this ball in play, and he attempts the back heel. The cross is going to make it into the area, but PC makes a very nice clearance, which is also a good pass. And the Strikers start another counter-attack here with Nunez. Angulo playing it wide to the right, and here is Mora. And Gabriel alongside him, back in field for Luis Felipe. Cross towards the near post, and that little flick header by Maicon, never troubling Van Oekel wide of the post. It remains 2-0.
be interesting to see now when the Eddies get up the field how many men they're going to commit to attack. Are they going to hold a couple of extra players back? As Colin Miller said, keep that backboard shut, keep it tight. They're going to go for that third goal and basically kill off the contest, or it's going to be a little bit more caution with the way they play. They certainly did very well converting their chances in that first half.
Simonde playing a pass back to Restrepo. Amiobi trying to put him under pressure. He's made the clearance, but it is Fordyce who heads it forward to Correa. Correa tried to thread that one towards Nyasi. Bounces back to him. He's got a run down the left-hand side here by Eckersley. He's trying to play one inside the fullback, but Mora's done well and played it forward to Gabriel. His pass is a good one into the middle of the field in Nunez. Now Maicon been pulled out to the right wing, and his left-footed cross is charged down by the Eddies, and Fordyce bringing it forward. He was always under a bit of pressure there. The free kick has been given to Edmonton for Darryl Fordyce, making that run out of trouble.
And you know, we talked about the spring season title, and really all that means is that it looks very much now that Indy has that pretty sealed up, unless I think Fort Lauderdale would score 8 unanswered goals in the second half. So Indy would be guaranteed one of the home seeds in the 4-team championship, or basically the NASL playoffs. The other 3 teams are still to be determined, so there's lots to play for.
And lots to be pleased about for the Eddies coach Colin Miller. This the best spring season in the club's history. I mentioned before the game that really wants to finish as high as possible, and third place would be something that he'd be happy with.
And more importantly, you talk about third place, but it's 1 point out of first place, and the overall table will decide 2 of the postseason spots, and maybe 3 if Indy won both legs, both the spring and fall. So right now, if the Eddies finish the season, you would say, look, as we go into the break in a playoff position, if the season ended today, we would be in the postseason. And that was a goal for this team going ahead. So people have to understand the playoffs. If you're not that familiar with the NASL, it's the fall champion and the spring champion each get a seed. So they get the home playoff games of the 2 semifinals. And then the other 2 playoff teams are determined by the overall standings. And the next 2 best teams in the overall standings. And right now, knowing that Indy has got one of those spots, the next 2 best teams in the overall standings are the Cosmos and FC Edmonton, based on a live table as it stands right now.
Yeah. As it stands after 52 minutes at Clark Stadium, Van Okel's ball through the middle is going to be picked up by Julius James, and now Agbusimonde. Mora from the right-hand side links up with Gabriel. He's veered into the middle of the field. The Strikers number 7. He's played a good pass out to PC on the left wing. Nunez taken late there by Ledgerwood. Free kick given to the Strikers.
Obviously, that being said, Edmonton would like nothing more than to be there at the fall season, to have a home game in Edmonton, or possibly home advantage throughout the playoffs. I mean, that's still a lot to ask. Still 20-some games left to go. Because then, you know, a playoff game in Edmonton in November, certainly a huge home advantage to the Eddies, maybe bigger than any other team could have in the league.
Yeah, the weather could be doing anything in Edmonton at that time of year. Van Okel marshalling his penalty area very well, gets down to make the catch and drops on top of the ball and smothers it. Good overarm throw to Eckersley. Eckersley and Keegan linking up, and then Watson finding his teammate Darryl Fordyce wide to the right wing. Eddie Edward getting a touch, back with Fordyce again. Nice slow build up here from Edmonton. Nyasi giving Edward a bit of work to do, but he's picked out Diakite. Just playing that into the path of his goalkeeper. Van Okel driving one up the middle. James with a good header down and a drop for Fordyce. Just lets that one run out. He'll take the throw in. could definitely be a big game as far as the overall standings go in the long run.
Absolutely. Every point matters in this league. This is a league that only 4 of the teams make the postseason. This isn't like the NHL or the NBA or Major League Soccer where the majority of teams make it. You know, statistically, it's actually harder to miss the playoffs than it is to make them. This league is much different. You could end up in October lamenting a point that you didn't get in April.
Stakes pretty high for today's game, though, in this 2-0 lead. Very good news for FC Edmonton. Home crowd enjoying this performance, making some noise, getting behind their team. Another free kick here for the Eddies. Taking a couple of knocks in this game, Eddie Edward, another one here.
Just gets tangled up there.
Oh, Howard fell awkwardly than anything else there. That's a very poor pass, though, by Fordyce. He's given the ball straight to Gabriel, and he's lucky that he didn't do anything with it. Made nothing of that. Really gave possession away cheaply there.
Gabriel returned the favor with another poor ball. He didn't read Maicon Santos' run. Cut the ball behind his forward. I think Maicon will be frustrated with a couple of occasions in this game where he's been in good positions and the teammates haven't seen him.
Not too much doubt about the free kick against Amiobi. Agusamonde climbing on top of him. Correa was upset because he felt that he had an advantage with possession. Had to retake the free kick. It's been taken away from him, though, by Manny Gonzalez, who's done a good job to release Nunez here. He's got a run from Angulo, but Nunez trying to take it around Diakite himself into the penalty box and tackled well, although a penalty given. Maybe it was that first challenge from Diakite who gets a yellow card for it, and this is a way back into the game for the Fort Lauderdale Strikers. A penalty kick, a chance for them to pull a goal back.
We'll have a look because Diakite's foot gets the ball out of touch. It must be something. It's there for the grab on the arm for pulling. Is it? Yeah, that's why I see Eddie Edward had cleared the ball cleanly, but it's for the pull of the arm. That's what the penalty calls for. Puts his arm on. I've said it before that and I have to say it when it happens against the Eddies as well. I don't love when defenders get their arms up on attackers, and I think it's something that needs to be legislated out of this game. A lot of, I think, defenders throughout the world get the idea that that's okay to do, to hand check on forwards, and I would love to see it cracked down on. And so I got to say, saying that Diakite did have his arm on the shoulder of the attacker.
It's PC stepping up, the captain of the Strikers, to take this penalty kick. And he strikes it straight down the middle of the goal, and Van Oekel was committed, and PC has scored, and it's 2-1 in Edmonton. Strikers back in it. And they're going to make an immediate substitution here. Fort Lauderdale, Maicon is going to come off. He's going to be replaced by Carvalho.
PC decides to go right down the middle with it. Finishes it well. It's always a risk, though, when you decide to knock it down the middle. Keeper just got to leave a foot behind and things can go wrong. It's always a brave decision when you decide to ram it right down the throat with your penalty kick, but he does it well. Full credit to PC.
The other end is Fordyce with the ball into the box. Keegan's there. He's on a hat-trick. He was so close. Amiobi was appealing for the pass as well. It didn't make it to him, and Fort Lauderdale breathe again. I would say you're at your most vulnerable when you get a goal, and the table's turned almost completely there at the other end. Mateus Carvalho then into the action in place of Maicon. And another roll of the dice for the Strikers. Angulo's offside there, the flag up very early. Well, this is what Colin Miller said, is that he knew that the Strikers would come back. at Edmonton, and 2-0 was going to be a dangerous lead, and now they've got to work very hard to try and press home an advantage.
This Strikers team is red hot. They haven't lost a game in over a month, and they've played exceptionally well on the road. They're on a quite a road winning streak, so traveling doesn't seem to faze them. And
Ledgerwood going down, believed he was tripped there, so did the crowd, but the referee was right on the spot, saw nothing wrong with it. And in the end, it's lucky that Van Onkel makes a routine claim. It looked a lot more dangerous than it turned out to be.
But definitely, it's like a totally different team right now in those yellow and red shirts than we saw in the first half.
Foul given there for barging over of Darryl Fordyce. Free kick for Edmonton. Fort Lauderdale have just changed the momentum of this match completely in the second half. We've played 1 hour and it's 2-1, Edmonton leading. And Korea making a good break down the right-hand side, and has done really well there. In comes the cross from Nyasi, but it's too close to the goalkeeper, Restrepo, who makes a good claim. Referee waves advantage after Ledgerwood bundles over PC.
PC's down and he's hurt, but he should talk to his goalkeeper about that throw out that he got. I mean, that was entirely his goalkeeper's fault. I mean, that's the medicine ball. Your keeper throws the ball at you like that, and you're having to wait for it. You hear the footsteps coming. I tell you, that's PC's left alone there to be tackled.
Gabriel on the edge of the penalty area, supported by Manny Gonzalez here. Gabriel again in too much space, edge of the penalty area. Nunez, he's crowded out by the Eddies. And it's with Nyasi. It's a poor pass by Nyasi. They're putting his team back under pressure, but he's won it back and made amends for his error and has released Korea on the right-hand side. Korea might fancy a pop by himself here. He's pushed over and tackled, and the referee again on the spot decides to give a corner kick on the right-hand side. He's I think this is payback for Ledgerwood's tackle on PC, and that is where he played the advantage, but he's come back to give the card to Ledgerwood, who thought maybe he got away with it for a while.
He said the foul was late, but wow, I tell you that. With that ball that was played out to PC, he had no favors from his teammate there.
The Eddies are looking to get Zebi in on the action in a moment, but the corner will take place first with Eckersley. It's gone deep, and in fact, the referee on the spot. Some pushing and pulling in the penalty box there. Free kick given to the Strikers, and is the substitution they want to take place, and there'll be another card here. Referee giving a yellow card to Restrepo there.
That's Nick Ledgerwood coming off. Zebi coming in, and Ledgerwood didn't play for Canada in the recent 2 friendlies. He had a little bit of a knock that he picked up, but he made the long trip. He just got back from Austria on Friday, where Canada played Azerbaijan and Uzbekistan. So, long haul back for Nick Ledgerwood.
And what will happen here is Zebi will move to the right-back position, and Eddie Edward will take over the holding midfield role, which he's done on a number of occasions in place of Ledgerwood, and looks pretty good when he plays there too, Eddie Edward. The Eddies who are defending here, though. Angulo again. It's Edward who's back breaking up the play there. Left footed, clearing it up towards Amiobi. He's beaten in the air by Busamonde. But Fort Lauderdale just a step quicker than Edmonton in this second half, and have a free kick on the edge of the penalty area. Those 50-50 challenges the Eddies were winning in the first half. In this half, the Strikers are to the ball first.
It looks like a referee has got a new can of Magic Spray. you're right, Garrett. It's a very lively Fort Lauderdale team right now, and they're feeling it. They got the goal, and now they feel they can get back in it. And I think with the shuffle, I think we're seeing Eddie Edwards go into the holding midfield position, because we saw there he was over with Eckersley helping out. So it looks like it's Zebi who's moved into the right back position, and Edward who's moved into a holding midfield position, taking Ledgerwood's spot. And we've seen Eddie Edward play there when needed.
BC standing over the ball here on this free kick. In central position, so it could shape up for either a left or right footer.
Yeah, it's almost dead on.
Nunez shaping up as well to maybe have a crack. And that's what he's done, and he's gone for the corner. It's a very good save by Matt Van Oekel. Good strike by Nunez. It looked on target, but Van Oekel read it beautifully.
Just not quite enough power from Nunez. He had the angle, he had the shape. It didn't get it over hard enough that Matt Van Oekel couldn't get over to the post. Very well covered by the big keeper.
Keegan getting a free kick there, maybe some pushing and pulling from Jason Mora. Free kick to the Eddies this time. We lead 2-1. PC from the penalty spot, bringing Fort Lauderdale to within 1 goal. Eckersley with the left-footed free kick here. And it had a nice shape to it, but again, the ref clamping down on the shenanigans inside the 18-yard box. Looks like he wants to talk to Diakite
and Guzmande.
Diakite is already on a yellow card. And so is Agbusumonde. No further punishment. I think just outlining he doesn't want any of the pushing and shoving in there.
And they both met and they start pushing and shoving right away.
Agbusumonde, the one who gets his head to the ball. And goes out for a throw-in.
Yeah, you see for sure that Eddie Edwards has moved to that central position.
Fordyce tripped over there, but takes the free kick. Early ball into the box, bouncing into the chest of James. It's with Keegan. Amiobi back to Keegan. Carried away there by Julius James. Eckersley makes a good interception there and finds Edward. Amiobi keeps things going. It opens up nicely for Korea. Just ran it a touch far. Couldn't pull the trigger. Gabriel here for the Strikers. Tries to go through the middle. Diakite makes a fine interception. Links up with Edward. Edward being pressured from behind, and again getting a little bit chippy. Quite a few free kicks in the second half.
A lot of time left here. Very, very entertaining game.
Watson's gone very direct from that free kick. Very good header. Back to his goalkeeper though by Agbusumonde. Restrepo kicking out of his hands, going straight down the middle. Watson confidently back-heading that to his goalkeeper, Matt Van Oekel. See there, Van Oekel in a bit of a pushing match. Kicks out of his hands. Gone deep. Good tackle by Nayasi. Crowd making some noise, the youngsters on the far side of the field there. Gonzalez makes a nice pass. In the middle is Gabriel. Broken up by Edward, but that will fall to Angulo. Maybe Edward making a tackle, goes out for another throw. Fordyce in possession, support from Nyasi, infield to Edward. Zebi, put one over the top and down the line. It's into touch there. Nyasi can't keep it in play.
Yeah. Goes out. The Eddies, at least the last couple minutes, have been able to slow down the pace. Fort Lauderdale really picked this one up.
Zebi making a well-timed tackle from behind there. No appeal from any of the Strikers players. He took it cleanly. Here's Keegan. Nice pass through the middle. Correa one-on-one with James. He's tried to pull a couple of tricks there, but ended up on the deck. The referee waved play on.
The referee said that he basically walked into Julius James there.
So Keegan, who's been the goal scorer, turning provider there with a good-looking pass through the middle to pick out Correa.
It's one move too many for Dustin Correa. He had James in the first move and then decided to make a second one. And I actually think that allowed James to recover a little bit, get to a spot and defend it.
Edmonton in possession on the right wing with Nyasi infield here for Correa. Correa's chipped one through the middle of Busamonde heading it down. And the Strikers will deal with that. Nice little step over there by Luis Felipe. Well, Keegan getting the ball back and finding Fordyce. Very open game at this point. Fort Lauderdale really pressing forward, and there are some gaps at the back. They're trying to exploit them here. It's with Fordyce. No offside. Chance for Nyasi with the cutback here, and again, it's way too close to Restrepo. That's a simple catch for him.
Very stretched the game right now.
Gabriel, he's looked really good since he switched positions there with Mora and in a more advanced role.
And Fort Lauderdale looked really tired because that time they moved up the field after Restrepo got the ball, and about 6 players didn't chase the first 4.
Nyasi striding out on the right-hand side here after Zebi released him. And Zebi in position here to take the pass. Now Correa. Correa helps it on towards Keegan. Keegan strikes one. He's on a hat-trick. You've got to give him the chance. But he's just got a bit too much power, and it rises over the top.
It's the right idea, though. You get to the top of the box and have a go. I think these two teams have run at each other so much in the second half. There's a... I know we say it's 17 degrees right now outside, but if you're ever on that field, it's a little bit warmer, reflects the sun. When we did our pregame on the field, it certainly didn't feel like it was 15 or 16 degrees outside.
Eddie Edward intercepting it out of Busamonde pass. Correa tackle. Fordyce winning it back. Look at that for a first-time pass. Outside of the right boot into the path of Nyasi. Nyasi getting around the back, cutting it back for Keegan. Just couldn't pick him out cleanly enough, and Keegan is on the deck. There's chances there to be taken advantage of as the Strikers are pressing so many men forward. Tackle by Zebi there on Nunez, but it bounces favorably for Nunez. Looking to go out to the right-hand side. Angulo here. Edward breaks up that one, just gets a foot on it. Drops to Mora.
Just the amount of space out there for the midfielders. Acres of space. The game is so stretched.
Approaching the last 15 minutes, FC Edmonton have a throw-in and are going to make a change here. Gustavo is going to come on to replace Seni Nayasi. He'll be at home with all the Brazilians out there. Gentile is going to be coming on as well for the Strikers.
Colin Miller with some rather animated instructions for Dustin Correa. He called Dustin Correa over to the sideline. Emphatically was giving instructions to his midfielder.
Manny Gonzalez is going to come off to be replaced by Giuseppe Gentile. There's number 92. Another forward, so they're throwing caution to the wind here, the Strikers. And Gustavo coming on to replace Nayasi, who gets a handshake from his coach, Colin Miller.
Amazing how much this game has changed in the second half. And now it feels like there's, you don't think that it could finish 2-1 the way these two teams are stretched. You think there's another goal in here somewhere for somebody. But in the case of Indy 11 fans, I don't think there's 7 goals in this for Fort Lauderdale anymore that they would need to get.
Infield to Fordyce. Fordyce, middle of the park, switching it out wide to the right. Here's Zebi. Zebi chips one up down the right channel. Correa chasing it away by James. Gabriel finding Mora. Good little toe poke forward by Edward. It's Correa. And he's slid it through to Keegan. Here's the chance. Went for the nutmeg again, but this time Restrepo closed up the legs and blocked it.
Great save by Restrepo. Just knew, I think he knew from last time what happened and said, I'm going to keep my legs together. And Keegan, outstanding chance to finish the hat trick.
Johan Smith is going to come on as well for FC Edmonton momentarily.
We see on the replay Keegan getting behind Gaelic Busamonde, who really hasn't had the best day dealing with Jake Keegan today.
Such a good chance there for Keegan, and that third goal is what the Eddies really need to kill off this one. Still anybody's match at this point, with the Strikers looking threatening. Good interception there by Ami Obi, and he's just played this into the path of Keegan. That's really good pace for Julius James, and does a very nice defensive job there, playing that ball back to Restrepo. Watson playing a pass to the right-hand side. Zebi's got to work really hard to keep that ball in play. He's done it. It's a good turn away from his marker and finds Eddie Edward. Good play by Zebi. Edward's got a little bit of time, space to run into here. He does so and then picks out Fordyce. Now Eckersley. Correa at the heart of a lot of the attacks in this second half for the Eddies. Finding Gustavo, who just plays a simple pass to the right-hand side. It's an effective one. Zebi in a crossing position. He's gone deep to the far post. It's headed away from Eckersley, but he'll control it. And Eckersley has the ball for Edmonton. Can't cut that back without it running out of play first. And it is a goal kick to the Strikers. And Edmonton making another substitution here. And it is Keegan who's going to be replaced by Johan Smith.
I would think that Keegan's going to get a nice round of applause. Had the brace and so close to his first NASL hat trick. Still, two goals from the forward is an awfully nice return. He was dangerous all day long.
Just a minute ago, he'll rue that chance. One-on-one against the keeper, and Restrepo on that occasion winning that battle, denying him a hat-trick. And that's the last of the action for Jake Keegan. And 10 minutes left. Johan Smith is going out. A bit of an injection of pace and speed and aggression down that left-hand side. And on the right-hand side is Gustavo. Keegan is in the dugout.
Basically, you have two fullbacks stacked up on that side now. You have Smith and Eckersley playing behind him.
Into the last 10 minutes at Clark Stadium. 2-1 Edmonton lead. Amiobi links up with Edward, now Fordyce. Amiobi dropping a little deeper to get hold of the ball. There's Smith with his first touch. Fordyce tries to play a 1-2 with him, but Smith bundled over by Agbusimonde, and the free kick given to Edmonton. And another substitution here is going to happen for the Strikers, and Gabriel is going to be replaced by Luis Zapata. Free kick for the Eddies here.
The referee is saying to the defender, look where my magic spray is. Why are you standing 2 yards in front of it?
Eckersley's cross. Underway well by the defence. Gustavo back in there. PC gets rid of it onto the chest of Edward here. Edward looking to the right-hand side and finding Diakite, who's still in an advanced position. Now Correa gets it out of his feet and strikes it, and he hits it well, but straight at Restrepo, who made the save. Routine in the end, but worth a pop from Correa. It's very poor control there. And that's run out of play for a throw-in to Edmonton, and possession surrendered there by Gentile.
Not really very good first touch from Gentile since he's come into the game.
One that he'll want to forget. Eckersley finding Correa again. Correa darts to the left and then goes back to Eckersley. Fordyce has got a man on his back, but plays a first-time pass. Eckersley and running into a bit of a crowd of red and yellow shirts there, but they've somehow fashioned it forward towards Johan Smith, who's still challenging for it, as is Eckersley. That ball is going to be into touch, and there's still issues between Eckersley and with Mora. And the referee's going to want to talk to both of them here. Eckersley going in the book. Yellow card for him.
I think the referee forgot to show it to him. Put him in the book, send him away, and realize, oh, actually, have to actually hold it up.
Mora escaping the referee's notebook. PC is pushing forward now. Support out on that left-hand side. They're appealing for offside. It hasn't been given. And lucky thing that Van Oekel was there to make the stop. They're still appealing with the linesman on the far side. Watson and Diakite convinced that that should have been an offside flag.
But the flag did go up and they weren't ready, and Angulo was making a near post run and pass just missed him.
Watson has successfully now, but yeah, you're quite right, Steve. Just caught them a bit cold.
You can't, even if you're sure, you can't depend on the flag. You can't depend on the referee to save you. Play the whistle.
Gustavo on the right-hand side, finding Correa tackled. Nunez forward again for Fort Lauderdale. Zebi with a good header away, but it will drop to the Strikers. Approaching the last 5 minutes of normal time here. There will be a couple of minutes of stoppages at least. Nunez playing on inside the fullback, but it's too far. Smith just sees that one go out for a goal kick.
And our referee are having a discussion. I don't know what was picked up there.
Blows the whistle to get back on with it. Mano through the middle. Amiobi the target. Got a good head on that one. James is there. Lunging forward, it drops for BC again. Chasing into that right-hand corner. The ball go into touch. Flag stays down, but Edmonton have possession. Fordyce to Amiobi. Smith just with some game smarts there, getting himself a throw in. They won't be at any rush to take this. Approaching the 87th minute with Edmonton 2-1 in front, protecting the lead now. In the closing minutes of the match, still a lot of work to do, but they've got possession back again, and now finding Gustavo on the right-hand side. Zebi's making an overlap. To the edge of the penalty area, Gustavo. Now back to Zebi. One of the Eddie's substitutes. There's a pass to Edward and gets it back, and they're just basically killing a bit of time here. Fordyce has Correa outside of him, just let him down there. Throwing for the Strikers.
He slipped a bit when he made that first touch and allowed Fort Lauderdale to get the ball back.
Chance here for Gentile. Kisley putting them under pressure and just taking the ball away from him there, deciding to kick it out.
Eckersley having a word with the linesman saying that he felt that was offside, that Gentile was behind and went off.
The last 2 minutes at Clark Stadium. Nunez with the ball, and Van Oekel at full stretch, but making a very fine catch and taking the pressure off his defense, and also getting a free kick in the process. There will be 2 minutes of stoppages at the end of the 90 minutes. So about 3 more minutes for Edmonton to negotiate here, looking to end the spring season with a victory. They are 2-1 in front. We are approaching the end of the 90 minutes here, just a minute left of normal time and then 2 minute stoppages.
course, I think by now we can safely say congratulations to Tim Hankinson and the Indy 11 on their spring season championship.
Amiobi playing one through for Korea. Here's a chance. The flag up offside. His right foot shot went over the top anyway. Yeah, what a good season for Indy, not losing in the spring season.
Yep, and the Eddies drew them when they went to Indy. And it was a team, and I have to admit, you know, I have to have my just desserts on that one. I had said a couple of weeks ago that I felt that the race was over, that the Cosmos, we couldn't be caught. No one could really make up that goal difference. And some of the Indy fans cautioned me and said, you know, we can still do it. And I cynically said that I didn't think they had enough goals in them to do it, and they proved me wrong. So, well done to the Indy 11.
No free kick given there as Eddie Edward jumps over a challenge and finds Gustavo on the left-hand side. He's going to try and take it to the byline. And ball kept in play, apparently, surprisingly enough, but drops nicely for the Strikers, who get it forward very quickly, and this time there is an offside flag. And it's a free kick for the Eddies, and we are into stoppage time at Clark Stadium.
From our angle, look, there's no way the ball stayed in. That looked like the shadow of the ball, it was well out.
Here it is. That was the deflected cross.
Yeah, that's out.
I mean, his foot's behind the line. Difficult angle to say with certainty, but hard to believe. Amiobi gets ahead on this one. Inside the penalty area is Restrepo. Does he take that outside of his box? Referee says no. Strikers getting a free kick here against Amiobi, who's going to be the latest Edmonton player. Go in the referee's notebook.
There's another case there with that roll, and I have to say, some of Restrepo's decisions that he's made in terms of rolling balls out, some of his kickouts, not necessarily putting his team in the best position today. There's been a few he's left short.
Here we are now.
It's feeder, but he's to keep the ball in.
He's outside the line.
He's outside,
yeah, does he keep the ball
in? I mean, he can reach back with the ball, and it's going to be okay. It's very, very tight, but
BC with a free kick in stoppage time in the meantime. And he's just put it into the mixer there, edge of the box, flipped on by the Strikers. Out on the wing is Carvalho trying to get this back into the box. Luis Felipe strikes one from range, and Eddie Edward is there to make the block. It's out for a throw.
You have to look, and I hate singling out single players, but I think Restrepo, some of the things he's done today in terms of kicking the ball out, distribution, haven't been great. And, you know, clearly I think he takes a lot of the blame for that second Edmonton goal. He came out, he didn't claim the ball.
Big throw out by Van Opel there. If Eckersley gets to this, the break is on. Smith is inside the fullback, and in the middle, here he is. This is the chance. And the strike deflected, and he just doesn't make the most of it. Korea, Smith did everything right. Very quick counter-attack from Edmonton, who are going to get a free kick here as we are now in the dying seconds.
You're right there. I mean, that's one that Dustin Korea's got to put away. He's still got a lot of the goal to look at. I know he's got striker defenders coming back, and one eventually blocks the shot. But Johan Smith does everything right. Like you're saying, he brings this ball down the left wing, cuts it back. Perfect ball for Korea. Maybe that first touch, he takes that away from himself just a little bit too much. That allows Fort Lauderdale's players to get back and block that chance. If he can, that first touch on the pass from Smith, keeps it a little close to his body, then he can swing his foot through it. But really, got to take that chance.
And that's it. The free kick is the last action of the match. And FC Edmonton have 3 points and a 2-1 victory over Fort Lauderdale with 2 goals from Jake Keegan, and have finished in the highest position they've ever achieved in the spring season, in 3rd place today.
Yeah, and 1 point out of first in the overall standings. And again, congratulations out to the Indy 11 on winning that spring season title and guaranteeing themselves one of the 2 top seeds in the championship.
We'll be back with the post-game show. Stay with us for the reaction. It's a victory for Edmonton. 2-1 over the Strikers. Welcome back to Clark Stadium. 3 points for FC Edmonton. The Strikers making a game of it, but a 2-1 win in the end for the Eddies, who finished 3rd in the spring season. Let's hear from the Strikers coach, Kaio Zanardi.
Coach, you wanted some improvement in the second half. You got it, but it just wasn't quite enough. Maybe just tell us what you did in the second half.
We didn't play well. We give all condition to Edmonton to play. Second half, we adjust the team. We press a little bit more. And we give a counter-attack. Of course, we are losing 2-0. We need to go ahead. We score on goal and they'll try, and Edmonton try the counter-attack. But I'm happy what we did last 7 matches. We improved a lot. Now we have 15 points. We started the foul. We're going to start this week again. We have another match, Cup, Wednesday. After that, we will restart again. But we need to improve some aspects that we need to correct these mistakes that we did. Go ahead, let's go. We have more all foul ahead, and we're going to prepare better to be better.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Okay.
Kaio Zanardi joining us, impressed with his team's second half performance, and they did make it close, but 3 points for Edmonton today, who have finished in 3rd spot, their best ever finish in the spring season, and one that the fans are very pleased about. Many still in the stadium here getting autographs from the players here at Clark Stadium. Coach Colin Miller joining us on the touchline now. 3 points, Colin, 3rd place, just 1 point out of top spot. How do you look back on your team's spring season here?
Yeah, very positively, for sure, Gareth. We've made some hard work of certain situations, but I'm very, very proud of the players and the staff for the efforts that we all put in at the club. And of course, Tom and Dave Farth are just magnificent owners. So it's very much a team effort and a family effort here at FC Edmonton. So overall, very, very pleased. We would love to have won it for sure, and we had a wee chance, but we threw that away a couple of weeks ago down in Miami. And that's nothing against Miami, it just happened to be that fixture. But overall, very pleased. Yeah, if you'd offered me 3rd place at the start of pre-season, going into the fall season, yeah, I would have taken that for sure, because of the quality of the teams that are in our league. So what we have to do now is we recognise that we're 1/3 of the way through the season and we deserve to be where we are. We have to regroup now. The guys will have a few days off here. And then we get back in here on Friday, and it's, you know, the spring season is finished. We now have to go and try and win the fall season.
Great. Well done, Colin. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Colin Miller, he's fairly pleased with things, as he should be. Just a point out of top spot, and some good scalps along the way. And even today, Fort Lauderdale not lost for 6 matches, but Edmonton taking the spoils, all 3 points, with 2 goals from Jake Keegan, who was very close to a hat-trick. But he was denied by a good save by Restrepo from getting that. But still, not too shabby today. Let's take a look back at the goals from Jake Keegan today. Maybe we can get you to just talk us through the goals, Jake.
Yeah, the first one, I guess you're watching it now, the first one was a great ball from Daryl. I kind of drifted off the shoulder of the 2 center backs in between them, and he was able to find me. And the second one, Eddie played a great ball in, and to be honest with you, I don't know how I got my head on it, between the keeper and the center half, but it was kind of disappointing the way we played in the second half. I was hoping to get a third, either with me or someone else, but it's always great to get the 3 points to cap off the spring season.
You were pretty close to the third there. Just talk about the one-on-one and maybe trying to slip it through the goalie's legs again there.
Yeah, I mean, a great ball in by Dustin, and I probably should have opened up my hips sooner, but I kept it on the outside of my right foot, and I was just trying to go through the keeper's legs, and I was just a hair to the right, I guess. So disappointing, but
let's just take another look at this one here. Here we go.
I want to see it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little to the right.
Looks like your reaction there, you wanted that back.
Yeah, of course. I mean, as a striker, as a goal scorer, you want to score every chance. I mean, it's not the way it's going to work out, but to get 2 goals today and to get 3 points is the most important. So, a good overall spring season. We kind of messed ourselves up 2 weeks ago in Miami, because if not, this would have been a party today. So
yeah,
hopefully we're 1 point behind the leaders, so push on in the fall season.
Great. Well played today, Jake. Well done.
Thanks, guys.
Jake Keegan with 2 goals, and as you mentioned there, so very close to the hat-trick, but just didn't quite come off. But again, he mentions the big picture being this is not a bad effort in the spring season.
No, and it's not. And I think you can look at it 2 ways. You can look at it as the spring season. Okay, it's over. It's done with. Indy taking that title. But at the same time, you look at those overall standings, which are going to determine some postseason spots. And the Eddies are right there. And as well, they've established themselves to the rest of the league that we're going to be up there with the big boys. That, you know, the Cosmos, and you have the team like Indy, you have Minnesota, who the Eddies are ahead of in the standings. And you say, look, we're going to be there. We're going to be with you. We're going to be in the fight. And they've sent a message to the rest of the league.
Let's take a look back on the highlights today between Edmonton and Fort Lauderdale Strikers, brought to you by Oodle Noodle.
Here we see that ball from Daryl Fordyce cutting through the defense, and Keegan outweights the keeper, and I think the keeper makes that first move and opens up, and Jake Keegan sticks it through the legs. And then we have the second here. Nias is going to play this ball back to Eddie Edward. They're just going to loft this ball in, as Jake Keegan says, I don't know how I won this ball. And I think Gaelic Bosamande and the keeper Diego Restrepo have got to ask themselves, how did he win that ball? And there we see Nunez, arm on the shoulder of Nunez by Papadiakite. The penalty's given, and PC goes right down the throat with it, right down the middle to make it 2-1.
That's where it would finish. There were chances at both ends for both teams following that, but no one quite able to add to the tally, so it finishes 2-1 to the Eddies. Let's look back at the save of the game now from today's match. Matt Van Oekel, he's had busier days in goal, but not a bad one, moving to his right, and got his positioning perfect there.
Yeah, it was quick over to the post, made sure, and he caught the ball too. No spill, turn it around. Good work by the big man.
Now the updated league standings at the end of the spring season in the North American Soccer League. And there you see it, Indy 11 just doing it ahead of the New York Cosmos, and FC Edmonton 1 point back and leapfrogging the Strikers with the 3 points today.
But what an incredible log jam that you have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams within 4 points of each other. Carolina in 7th with 14 points. That's just going to show you how tight this league is going to be going forward.
There's that man, Jake Keegan. A brace for him today. 2 goals to give the Eddies 3 points against the Fort Lauderdale Strikers in their last home performance of the spring season, and a good one too, with Keegan on target, finishing 3rd, their best ever position in the spring season of the NASL. Thanks for joining us today. Good night.